In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at Wilder World's native token, WILD. I'm going to be looking at the fundamentals and taking a look to see if there's any value outside of just price action that you could potentially benefit from if you decide to put this in your portfolio. So let's take a look at WILD. Before we jump into WILD, we should probably talk briefly for those uninitiated about Wilder World. What is Wilder World? Well, it's a metaverse play. They're looking to build the Ready Player One metaverse that we have all wanted for so long. That world where you can seamlessly jump into with your VR headset and jump between universes using your tokens and your wallets without having to stop, mix change, use a bridge, change browser, all that sort of stuff. That seamless price play all across the entire metaverse. The largest video game you've ever heard of, so to speak. That's what they're trying to accomplish. Now, I do think they have quite a ways to go because really that's not a small endeavor. I mean, look at something like Star Citizen. They've been working on that thing for 10 years already and it's still buggy as hell. So they have a long way to go, but do I think that they have a good base of what they're working on? The NFTs look pretty cool. The community is decently large in there, and the price action over the last period wasn't too bad for a project that's kind of under the radar. So, you know, there's a lot there. I will say up front, I don't actually hold any Wilder. Try to keep this as unbiased as possibly can, at least when it comes to the token review. So there's no worries there. Honestly, the most biased part would be that I'd like to see the project do well because, yeah, I want that cool metaverse. I want to go play around in it and own a building in the metaverse and wander around. I think that's cool. So maybe I'm a little bullish, but that's because I want them to succeed. But anyway, enough of my nonsense. Let's head over to the screens and take a look at the Wilder token. All right, first let's talk about what the Wilder token will offer you other than price action. And what does it really do? You know, a lot of people are like, what is this token? Is this the reward token? Is it a utility token? WILD is a governance token. That's its main use case, and that's probably all it will have. What they have done in their ecosystem is they have other projects that are built underneath them, which are zero, and that's a whole other video to go into, but they have multiple tokens offering different placing them use cases in different parts of the entire economy. So safe to say that if you are getting in WILD, you are really just getting into the governance potential of it. Now, they do state that there will be some rewards potentially for benefiting from doing certain things. You will be potentially rewarded certain extra Wilder, but I would imagine that the real point here is really about community-owned governance over the project. And that will really come down to what the reserves end up doing. And as you can see, it even mentions its other token, Loot, which is really related to that's really related to the artists involved in the project. It's another form of reward token for them, basically payment for artists for being a part of the project. Again, if you're interested, the project's super in depth. I need to do a deeper video on more of the mechanics on it and talking about that. If you're interested in that, leave a comment down below asking about that because it's big, it's super in depth, and I'm not sure how many people want to see it, but I think it's pretty cool what they're trying to do. Either that or go check out the Discord. They have a really cool Discord, big community over there. Now, can you stake this? Yes, you can stake it. They do have a very handy little guide to walk you through how to stake your tokens. I'm actually gonna point you through that later on in this video. I'll actually just go through the process a little bit. I won't actually purchase any, keep it as unbiased as possible. No, I'll just walk you through basically where to go. I mean, it's not very hard. The guide is pretty straightforward. If you've seen, and if you've used your MetaMask before, it's really not that crazy. And the staking is all held on their own platform. So it's inside of their own market, which they're working on. And it's something that I did confirm recently inside their Discord that they're still working on it. There's a number of things that don't work great. So again, a lot of work ahead of them. So obviously, in the meantime, while you're waiting for there to be an ecosystem to even, you know, have any value on, you want to know what price action you potentially benefit from while you're holding this token, right? For the vast majority of us, we're looking to pick up a token and see it moonshot. That's the reality of it. And so we got to talk about the numbers. 27 cents is one of those low numbers that I've talked about before that has a low market cap that people get confused about. So you can benefit from some FOMO into that because they think 27 cents going to 10, even though going to $10 is technically still a big jump, they still think low tokens have a low value. So I like those lower ones as far as altcoins that no one's talking about. Let's take a look at the action that it did over this past bull run. Now, it hasn't been out long. I believe it was in May 11th, that was its IDO, somewhere in there. I know it states it a little bit earlier than that. Oh no, it is. It's May 11th was when it was IDO for its original launch, right? It came out, they initially sold only 19 million tokens in private and public sale at a value of almost 5 cents, 0.048 cents. We'll look at the tokenomics here in a second, but that total value market cap, the whole thing at 24 million. Currently, we're sitting in a fully diluted market cap of 135 million. So anyone who got in then really made a big bulk of what they did. But what you can see is that if we look in this trough here, we're actually looking, let's just ballpark it to about 80 cents. We can see that it went to an all-time high during the bull run of close to $8. That's almost 100x, right? I'm just gonna call it 100x for round numbers. And there's gonna be a lot of people pointing out the fact that you don't look at altcoin price action in the history. Yes, you do just to see what consumer sentiment was. I've seen plenty of altcoins that did nothing during the bull run, and you're not gonna bet on those again because they didn't think that it was a bull rally worthy previous time. That's the same here. It's like if they thought it was bull rally, regardless of having any utility. We see projects all the time. They don't even have a product and they'll just skyrocket for no reason. So the fact that it actually made moves is a good thing. We want to see that. Now, whether or not it will duplicate those in the future, we don't know, but you can safely say that there's enough people who probably were like, yo, that project looks sick, or that project's the one I'm gonna FOMO in for the bull run and take profits at the top. So that's then generally where I look at that. The next thing that we wanna kind of focus on is gonna be that max supply, circulating supply, and looking at our market caps. You can see the current market cap based on this circulating supply is pretty low, 24 million. Now we're talking about a project that's looking to build the metaverse, right? The metaverse, the thing that we go into and all communicate with each other on. And again, it's much deeper than what I'm explaining. So it's a big project. Now, if you think that that's gonna be worth a little more than 24 million, then you may think that this is undervalued. But really we have to look at the fully diluted for we're looking for long-term. Even at 135 million, it's, in my opinion, very undervalued if they can accomplish what they're going for. So, thinking about $1 billion market cap, putting this at $2 is really not that big of a deal. And honestly, seeing the $7 here isn't out of the realm of possibility. Years down the road. Next bull run, probably not. Next bull run, we got to see if maybe the sentiment's there and whether enough people get some eyes on this. I think they've got a little bit of marketing ahead of them and they need to put that action in there. So as far as entire future price predictions, I still would be able to say that $7 is totally possible in the next bull run, but I would imagine that you've got to pay attention, see what's going on. You are buying it at a low price, 27 cents though. Even if that halved what it did last time, you'd still make some money and you couldn't cry about it, right? You didn't lose money. So that's probably where I'm sitting on that. Again, I don't have any, so it's just all speculative nonsense. Take it for a grain of salt. But I do want to talk about the circulating supply and the fully diluted market cap because there's a little discrepancy there that I think some people are kind of confused about. And it does put a little bit of worry on my plate when it comes to the project. So max supply, 500 million of them out there. And it says circulating supply of 86. Again, we've already said that, Stuart. But something I would point to, a conversation going on in the Discord where someone had pointed out that there's a link where you can check out the actual circulating supply. It just states the circulating supply. And that currently is not what it says. It doesn't say 86, it's like 86 million. The circulating supply that when you go to that link, and I'll leave the link down below, it says is 327 million. So that's a significantly larger portion that their own app says is circulating out there. So what's going on? Well, the conversation that is being talked on the Discord, where it really led to was the fact that, and we'll have to go look at the tokenomics, that the tokenomics state that the person pointed out that metric should probably be unlocked supply. So there's a vesting schedule for the tokenomics for the entire project. So what does this really mean? So in order to understand it, we have to look at the tokenomics, and this is kind of the conversation that was taking place in the Discord. That metric is not necessarily circulating supply, it should be changed, but it is actually unlocked supply. So you can see that there's a vesting schedule associated with the entire tokenomics here. And yes, we're looking at the tokenomics. I'm gonna label that timestamp down below if I didn't already mention that at the beginning, which I didn't. So there you go, there it is now. This is talking about the vesting schedule of the entire token distribution. And you can see that there's some decent chunks being thrown around, but they have vested over periods of time. What he's pointing to, and you can see some of these are very short, 3 months, 6 months, 6 months, 3 months. That I'm not super fond of, not gonna lie, because they're very short. You usually like to see 12 months to 24 months usually, especially when it comes to teams. So the fact that we do see 12 months and then a 12-month unlocking, that's good. I like that sort of stuff, but some of these, community building, it looks like right away they were immediately trying to open up some of that money, that liquidity, so they could continue building it. And I would imagine that a project this size, they're gonna need their liquidity as soon as possible. So that could have led to some of it, but really when we go back to it, what that person's pointing to is that they're not out there. The circulating supply hasn't been sold off. So they're still sitting 327 million unlocked tokens that could be brought onto the market. So really you take the 86 from that number and it's, whatever, it's 24 or whatever, whatever the value is then. And that's how many, 24 million could be, 240 million, sorry, could be dumped on the market, therefore causing a massive price dump. And that's what's kind of scary. Now, in order to really vet this out, we kind of need to head over to ETHScan and take a look at the contract, take a look at how many there. While we're here, we might as well look at the holders. There's 10,000 holders, which is a nice number. Not gonna lie, it's for a small project under the radar. I like to see above 10,000 because that means there's enough people interested in it, but it's definitely not one of the couple 100,000s that we're used to with some of the much bigger projects, right? So it's a smaller ecosystem, but there's more that means that there's enough people who know about this to really make it do something. But what we look at is we go to this tab here, the holders tab, and we can see that this is where the values are. There's 82% locked up in a smart contract. Smart contracts are denoted by these little symbols over here on the left. And you can see some of this liquidity is. You can see KuCoin, you can see Gate.io. So those ones that are stated, Uniswap, those are pretty straightforward for us. Those are exchanges, right? So that's where some of that liquidity is. But 413 million, the vast majority of it, it's still locked in a contract, right? So again, this unlocked supply is pointing to partially stuff that's inside of this contract. So you're probably asking, what does that mean? I don't 100% know, because really I don't know what that smart contract is locking it up. And I'll try and put the comment here right now, but the person who was mentioning it just said we may know more once the entire 500 million are unlocked, which isn't really that doesn't put a lot of confidence in me, honestly. Like, when you're talking about just potentially a couple 100 million being free to be dumped on the market for whatever reason, I doubt that they would do that potentially to destroy the price action of their token. But still, it's just like, you don't have a plan for it, or if you do, why don't you just tell us? I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong on that. If anyone knows, let me know down below. I would love to know the answer to that. But yeah, it's just kind of weird that there's so many locked up still unclaimed, right? So they can be claimed, but I don't know what that smart contract makes it so they can't be claimed or whatever. But that's what he was saying, is that they're unlocked. So no say. Real quick, we kind of glassed past this, and I want to talk about the tokenomics really quick. Overall, it's not terrible to see. I mean, 25% for the team is higher for a DAO or sort of a decentralized looking project. But again, what they're trying to claim and make happen, I think they're asking probably a lot of their team, and they're really trying to use that as incentive to keep people on board. But for the rest of it, you can see, I would imagine that marketing and liquidity, community building, to me, they're kind of the same thing. Like all the things that are related to them spending money, I almost always just group as the team, because it's all in their control, right? Like it really is. At the end of the day, the reserve sounds like what it's going to be part of as the Wilder governance. So what you actually get value-wise when you hold the token. So as far as governing in the future, you'll probably be more in charge of this. The team is obviously going to be in charge of the vast amount of it. The private and public sale, those things already, a vast majority of those have already happened. So you're probably sitting at looking at like whatever's going to be available to you is going to be significantly less until they start selling off some of those, but that puts sell pressure on the overall thing. So the tokenomics are what they are. Again, being a decentralized nature, there's going to be a decent amount, but there's not a lot out there unless they get sold. So that's kind of, it's a double-edged sword. It's like they've spread them out, but then they've spread them out to within their own control. So it's something to be said. And really quickly, I thought this was the perfect time to point out anything you've thought I've missed in here, you think I did right, wrong, leave those comments down below. But I wanted to point you down to the Wilder Wiki. So go check out the Discord if you're interested in any of these pieces. Wilder World Wiki has got a wealth of information to really get you started. And you can see each one of these is just filled with a bunch of information. This will really fill you in with a lot of what's going on. But if you want to find out more about the tokens, they cover it in here. And I wanted to show you the fact that there is, yes, 4 other tokens. So I think I mentioned it at the beginning of this take. I don't know, I've messed up so many times, but there's a number of other tokens. These are a whole other conversations, but again, these are part of the other reward systems throughout the economy. So it's safe to say that you're not just buying Wild and then that's the only thing that's going on here. This is a very big project. So again, if you want to find more of this information, go check out that Wilder Wiki. I'll leave links down below. All right, let's talk about Wilder purchasing and staking. So I'm not gonna go through actually how to purchase it because it's pretty straightforward. Over here on the market tab inside of CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko has one too. You can actually see a list of places where you can currently purchase them. These top 3, Uniswap, KuCoin, and Gate.io, are actually going to be the main places I would probably focus on. As I saw those larger contracts in there, they have the vast majority of the tokens. They're going to have the liquidity you're looking for. I don't know what the rest of these are, but again, those brands are all ones that I would trust and know. I actually even have a KuCoin affiliate link if you are interested in that. If you haven't tried out KuCoin, I like them. That's what I personally use. They have no KYC and they're actually pretty decent. The learning curve's a little hard. Be careful with the learning curve. It takes a minute. But once you get it going, they're actually pretty awesome. They have futures, they have everything. They have leverage, they're pretty awesome. Anyway, from here, you can actually get to staking by going to their website. So I usually like to also use these links so you don't get scammed. Don't just Google Wilder World. You can go to these and you know that they're probably vetted. Boom, we actually show up in the landing page, and the landing page isn't really filled with too much other than just talking about some of the things they got going on. What you're looking for is this top right-hand play here, and I'm gonna punch in for you. Metaverse market in the top right-hand, and this is really the main thing they have going available to public right now. This is their main website available to the public. And you can see over here on the left is what we're gonna be looking at, but I'll just talk about these three. You currently can't purchase NFTs, even though the marketplace is dedicated for NFTs at current. I've confirmed with them that you can't actually purchase through here. So if you are looking to purchase NFTs, OpenSea is gonna be the place to go. But they do have them here, you can take a look at them, and that the bid mechanism seems to be in place, but it doesn't seem to work properly. So I did confirm it again in Discord. You can also stake your NFTs. So I did another video, go check that out. I think I'm pointing in the right direction on NFTs from Wilder. I would check them out. Those I probably like more than I like Wild. I think those are pretty cool because they're supposed to be coming with a lot of rewards. So go check that out. But staking is just one of the rewards, let alone all these other whitelist opportunities and other just like benefits you could potentially get. So go check that out. But the third tab down on the left-hand side is our staking tab. Pretty straightforward, right? They don't have too many hoops to get through, and you can see that there are currently only 2 options for Wild, and Wild is the only thing you can stake here right now. You can natively stake Wild and for 7%, which is not a bad return if you're holding on to it, if you have conviction in the wallet already. What I would point out is that you can unstake at any time. However, your rewards will be locked for 12 months. So keep that in mind. That is a very big point that should be made. That the rewards will be continued to be locked. So they're trying to incentivize that holding period, obviously. So I don't know what the APR would change like. And a note, it says APR, not APY. So it's not compounding. They're literally just gonna give you the 7% value of what, by the end of it, it's just that simple APR. 80%, this is actually for the liquidity farming. So what I would say to this is make sure that you get the liquidity farming, and they do point to that in this guide again one more time just to point you over here, but make sure you get the Wild and Wrapped ETH liquidity pool. That's the one that they'll accept. That's the only one they'll accept. Otherwise, you're gonna burn through gas fees. And really, staking is super easy. I don't know why. I did connect my MetaMask wallet previously, but it's been causing a little hiccups right now. I might need to refresh or like close the browser, but I'm in the middle of a take, so sorry guys. But at the end of the day, what you would do is you would just stake here, you connect your wallet, you stake, it's gonna ask you how many you wanna put in, boom, you're gonna have to sign those up at your MetaMask, at the normal sort of version of going through that. I'm gonna leave a link to that guide down below so you can actually walk through the process. It's definitely not difficult, but do remember again that you can unstake your initial collateral anytime. Rewards are locked for 12 months. And I believe that's for both liquidity pool and native staking. All right, so I guess a quick wrap up is in order. What do I think about the whole project, holding Wilder, and is that option for you? Well, I do like the project, as I have said before. I don't currently hold any Wilder, but I would look at picking some up given a little bit of more macro time that we have in the markets. I think we have a little bit more time to go down, potentially, at very least go sideways, and I don't lose much by just waiting a little bit. So that's where I'm at as far as picking up any new tokens. But I do see this potentially going back to its all-time high, if not exceeding that, coming out the other side, as long as they continue to make progress. Now, in order to see that progress, you gotta head on over to the Discord. I've been over there and I'm actually quite surprised at how budding with people and things going on it is. I actually, just as making this video, while I was over there real quick, I stopped in and they were having a whole community, like a guy talking about liquidity pools inside of it was just a conversation in one of the voice channels there, and they were offering it for the community. And it was really interesting. But it had nothing to do with the project, really. It was really just about liquidity pools and how they work. And I thought that was a cool little feature. So they're really trying to engage with their community. This is a very community-driven project. So what I would say is if you are part of that, you're looking for a community to get into, you're looking to hold NFTs or be a part of a metaverse play, again, decentralized sandbox, there's all these ones out there. but you want to be a member at the ground level, this is another good place to start. Sandbox, Decentraland, they've taken off, and I think that their ecosystems are going to be smaller than what these guys are trying to actually make. So if you are looking for that, again, that group that's looking to cater to artists, it's looking to cater to people who are part of the community and really giving back to them, then this is probably the play for you. Remembering Wild is a governance token, so that's its main value. You can stake to earn a little bit of money, but the main value is going to be that. Keep an eye out for further videos in the future about doing any more of those other tokens that I showed in the wiki real quick. There's a slew of other information around this project. It's sub-projects, it has more crypto underneath it. I'll explain another day, but yeah, it gets kind of wild. So safe to say, I'm probably gonna end up doing a little bit of a video on that. I did wanna throw this one in sooner than later because I've had a lot of people asking, and I think it's a good time to be looking at picking up tokens right now because we're in that plateauing. We're coming up to the accumulation phase as far as the macro scale of the whole markets. So we should be looking out for these degen plays. And I wouldn't even call this a degen play, I just call it a play because obviously it did do some value. It did 100x last time at 20 cents. Can it do another 100x? Possibly, you know, possibly. I wouldn't put it off the table. I don't know if next bull run, but I wouldn't put it off the table. So it's something to consider. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was value for anyone who is interested in Wilder. If you hadn't heard of it and you are one of my viewers, maybe you're interested in take a look. Again, nothing, no skin off my nose. I just want to introduce people to interesting projects that I think are out there. So hopefully you check it out. If you did like this, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, those things really do help the channel and I appreciate it. Otherwise, I would also ask you to leave a comment down below and let me know, what did you think about the project? Are you in it? Do you want to get involved? Are you going to stake some tokens? I'd be really curious. I'm very active in my community in the comments, so definitely drop those down below. I appreciate it. And for everybody who just joined my channel looking for more step-in content, don't worry, I gotta mix it up, right? I'm coming back. I'm gonna do some step-in. I know I'm a YouTuber. I gotta cater to you. I gotta cater to everybody. So work with me, guys. Work with me. Anyway, guys, I hope you had some fun with this one. I look forward to reading your comments. And remember, this isn't financial advice. It's just an opinion. And I'll see you guys in the next video.